Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. First few pages. From Camino to Yahaira. I know too much of mud. I know that when a street doesn't have sidewalks and water rises to flood the tile floors of your home. Learning mud is learning the language of survival. I know too much of mud. How Tia will snap at you with a dish rag if you track it inside. How you need to raise the bed during hurricane season. How mud will dry and cling stubbornly to a shoe or a wall, to Viralata, the dog, in your exposed foot. I know there's mud that splatters as a moto concho drives past. Mud that suctions and slurps at the high heels of the working girls I once went to school with. Mud that softens, unravels into a road leading nowhere. And mud got a mind of its own. Wants to enwrap your penny loafers, hug up on your uniform skirt, press kisses to your knees, and make you slip down to meet it. Don't let it stain you, Tia's always said, but she can't see this place we're from already has its prints on me. I spend nights wiping clean the bottoms of my feet, soiled rag over a bucket, undoing this mark of a place. To be from this barrio is to be made of this earth and clay. Dirt packed, water backed, third world smacked, they say. The soil beneath a country's nail, they say. I love my home, but it might be a sinkhole trying to feast quicksand. Mouth pried open, I hunger for stable ground somewhere else. This morning I wake up at 5 a.m., wash my hands and face. There's a woman with cancer, a small boulder swelling her stomach, and Tia Solano needs my help to tend to her. Since I could toddle, I would tag after Tia, even when Mama was still alive. Tia and I are easy with each other. I do not chafe at her rules, and she does not impose unnecessary ones. We are quiet in the mornings. She passes me a palm-sized piece of bread, and I prepare the coffee kettle for her. By the time Don Mateo's rooster crows, we are locking up the house. Tia's machete tucked in her bag. The sun streaks pink highlights across the sky. Virolato waits outside our gate. He is technically the entire neighborhood's pet, a dog with no name but the title of Stray. Ever since he was a pup, he slept outside our door, and even I don't think of him as solely mine. I know he thinks of me as his. I throw him the heel of bread from the loaf, and he runs alongside us to the woman with cancer, whose house door does not have a lock. Tia knocks anyway before walking in. I do not furrow my brow or pinch my lips at the stench of an unwashed body. Tia crooks her head at the woman. She says I have a softer touch than she does. I murmur hello. The woman fusses in response. She is too far gone into her pain to speak. And since she lives alone, we have no one to ask how she's been doing. I rub a hand across her forehead. It's cool, which is a blessing. She settles down with a deep sigh the minute I touch her. I bring the bottle of water Tia passes me up to her lips. She sips with barely there motions. It is said she was once a beautiful woman. I lift the blanket that Tia wrapped around her the last time we were here and press gentle fingers to her nightgown-covered abdomen. Her stomach is hard to my touch. Tia burns incense in all the corners of the small house. The woman does not stir. It is easy in a moment like this to want to speak over this woman, to tell Tia there is nothing more we can do, to say out loud the woman is lucky that her lungs still draw breath. But I learned young, you do not speak of the dying as if they are already dead. You do not call bad spirits into the room, and you do not smudge a person's dignity by pretending they are not still alive and right in front of you, and perhaps about to receive a miracle. You do not let your words stunt unknown possibilities. So I do not say that her dying seems inevitable. Instead, I brush her hair behind her ear and lay my hands on her belly, chanting prayers alongside Tia, and hoping that when we leave here, Vira Lata and not death is the only thing that follows. Tia is the single love of my life, the woman I want to be one day. All raised eyebrows and calloused hands, a hairy upper lip stretched over a mouth that has seen death and illness and hurt, but never forgets how to smile or tell a dirty joke. Because of her, I too have known death and illness and life and healing. And I've watched Tia's every move until I could read the Morse code of sweat beads on her forehead. So when I say I want to be a doctor, I know exactly what that means. This curing is in my blood, and everyone here knows the most respected medical schools are in the United States. I want to take what I've learned from Tia's life, dedicated to aid, and build a life where I can help others. There have been many days when Pappy's check comes late and we have to count how many eggs we have left or how long the meat will stretch. I don't want Tia and me to always live this way. I will make it. I will make it. I will make it easier for us both. The day. I am beginning to learn that life-altering news is often like a premature death. Ill-timed, catching someone unaware, emotionally unprepared, and often they shouldn't be. I am missing a math test. Even though Poppy will get in a taxi upon arriving, I skipped my last 2 periods so I could wait at the airport. I'll make up the exam tomorrow, I convince myself. Poppy's homecoming for me is a national holiday, and I don't rightly care that he's going to be livid. He reminds me once a week he pays too much money for my fancy schooling for me to miss or fail classes. But he shouldn't fuss, since I'm always on honor roll. I also know Poppy will be secretly elated. He loves to be loved. And his favorite girl waiting at the airport with a sign and a smile. What better homecoming? It's been 9 months since last he was here, but as is tradition, he is on a flight the first weekend in June, and it feels like Tia and I have been cooking for days, seasoning and stewing goat, stirring a big pot of sancocho, all of Pappy's favorites on the dinner table tonight. This is what I think as I beg Don Mateo for a bolo to the airport. He works in the town right near the airfield, so I know he's grumbling only because, like his rooster, he's ornery and routinized down to every loud crow. He even grumbles when I kiss his cheek thanks, although I see him drive off with a smile. I wait in the terminal, tugging the hem of my uniform skirt, knowing Poppy will be red-faced and sputtering at how short it is. I search the monitor screen, but his flight number is blank. A big crowd of people circle around a giant TV screen. T has a theory that when bad news is coming, the saints will try to warn you, will raise the hair on the back of your neck, will slip icicles down your spine, will tell you, brace, brace, brace yourself, muchacha. She says perhaps if you hold still enough, pray hard enough, the saints will change fate in your favor. Don Mateo's AC was broken, and the hot air left me sweaty, pulling on my shirt to ventilate my chest. Without warning, a stillness, a cold chill saunters through a doorway in my body. A tremble begins in my hands. My feet do not move. An airline employee and 2 security guards approach the crowd, like gutter cats used to being kicked. And as soon as the employee utters the word accident, the linoleum opens, a gnashing jaw, a bottomless belly, I am swallowed by this shark tooth truth. First 12 pages of Clap When You Land.